Hey guys, Dave, thepeabodysparadise.com. Today we're going to talk about HC, otherwise known as Dwarf Baby Tears. This is a super popular plant. It is one of the go-to foreground plants that pretty much everybody that aquascapes goes with, at least at some point or another. So it's a really cool plant. It's stays really small like this. You know, this is the biggest that it's going to get as far as how big the leaves and the plant gets, and it just kind of spreads. If you look at, like, for example, this pot back here, see how this pot is a lot smaller or newer than, like, see how it's just kind of barely passing the circular part that it's sitting in. But then you come over here, and these have been in for a couple weeks now, and you can see they're just overgrowing everything, and just all over the place. So, and what we try to do is we just let them kind of do what they're going to do. Once they overgrow, like if they get way overgrown, we'll trim them back some just to keep them kind of in line. But for the most part, we like selling them and just sending them like this because they look great, and it's a lot more for people to work with. So HC is it's pretty easy to care for, although it is known as one of the most demanding plants for aquascaping, just because it has very shallow root systems. If you look at the roots on this, see if we can get a good look. See how small these roots are. They're very tiny roots. So it is best to do a dry start with it. If you don't know what a dry start is, check out our other videos. We got some on dry start. As far as your setup goes, I do strongly suggest that you use high lighting with this, or at least pretty intense lighting. I mean, at least medium to higher light, and definitely use CO2 or Excel or glutaraldehyde, some kind of CO2 substitute. But you want these to get as much light and as much CO2 as you can give them, because they are propagated and grown above water like this, and once they are submersed, they don't have as much available CO2 to work with, or as much light, so they tend to melt back some, and they have a little bit of a hard time transitioning. So you want to try to give them as much as you can to give them the best chance at transitioning possible. So, and that's where a lot of people have some issues with it. It's like either they just don't have enough light or CO2 for it, or they have trouble keeping it anchored down. One tip that I can give you about anchoring this stuff down in your tank, if you've already got it set up, is just to pull it out of the pot. Be gentle with it when you take it out of the rock wool. Just put it in a bowl of water and just kind of gently pull the rock wool away from it. Once you're done with that, go ahead and lay it out however you're gonna put it in the tank, like you're gonna separate it or whatever into pieces. Try not to do tiny pieces. Give it maybe like a penny or a dime in size. That way, once you have them where you want them, you can just take a little bit of gravel or a little bit of sand and just kind of weigh it down with it. Just dump it right on top of it. The plant will, the leaves will be able to go around the grains in it. As long as they're not completely smothered, they'll be fine. And that'll help keep it in place, hopefully, until it can get well rooted. So that's Baby Tears, Dwarf Baby Tears, HC. Check it out.